It may have been the video that I mentioned that this was section 3.6. Obviously that's not right. Still section 3.5 as far as our textbook goes in class anyway. So we're going to take another look at a problem dealing with exponential growth, and this time instead of having a table to work with like we did on the last problem, we're going to have to find values because we're not going to be able to just use a regression model. So, but the one thing that we do know, it does tell us right off the bat here that a population of fruit flies is increasing according to the law of exponential growth. So there's our exponential growth. So as soon as we see that, that allows us to set up our problem in this form. And we're going to have to find a few different parts to this problem. So it says after 2 days there are 100 flies, after 4 days there are 300 flies. How many flies will there be after 5 days? And again, this is assuming an exponential growth model. So let's start out with the very beginning here. They give us a time to deal with, 2 days, and after 2 days they give us 100 flies. So let's fill in the values where we need them. So the ending amount, the 100 flies, is going to go out here. We don't know this constant yet. And we do know again the time is 2 days. So t is 2, 2 times b is just 2b. Now again, our goal on this one originally now is just to come out and find our value of this constant. So we're just going to divide both sides by e raised to the 2b power. So again, not real tough math. Everything simplifies on the right side by canceling, and on the left side we just end up with 100 over e raised to the second raised to the 2b equals a. Alright, so that's our starting point. Now from there we're going to go and take on our next step, and our next step is going to be dealing with the part where we've got after 4 days there's 300 flies. So we're just going to come back, take the part that we know, and that part now includes this value for a. So we're going to step out here and go y equals this, which is 100 all over e raised to the 2b, all times e raised to the bt. So we found one of our values. So now we're going to go on to the second part here, where it said again, after 4 days there are 300 flies. So at the end, our y value is going to be 300 flies. We've got our value for a here next. So on this one, we have 100 all over e raised to the 2b power. And then this is multiplied by e. And again, this time our time is 4. So we're going to have 4 times b. So a little simplification here on the right side. We have on the numerator e to the 4b, on the denominator e to the 2b. So again, since they're the same bases, we just have to subtract their exponents, and that's going to leave me with e to the 2b. So let's divide our 100 over to this side, because obviously we're trying to solve for b. So we're going to do 300 divided by 100 is just 3. The 100 divided out here, we're left with e raised to the 2b. And again, since I've got a base e, and I'm trying to bring this b value out of the exponent, we're going to apply a natural logarithm. So we're going to do natural log of 3 equals our natural log of e raised to the 2b power. So on the left side, we still end up with natural log of 3. And on the right side, we have base e and e. And again, by one of our properties, that means the exponent is the solution. So to get b by itself, we're just going to divide both sides by 2. So that's going to cancel, and that's going to give us that value of b that we've been working towards. So natural log of 3 divided by 2. So this is going to help us in a couple ways. This is going to get substituted in here, and we're going to work on our last part here. So let's simplify the a value first by plugging this value of b back over here. So we'll have 100 all over e raised to the 2 times b, which is natural log of 3 divided by 2. So that's what a equals. And here, obviously, 2 and 2 cancel, so a simplifies down to be 100 as the numerator, and e raised to the natural log of 3 as my denominator. So now I've got a new value for a that's simplified, and on this one, most people recognize base e and base e means I can take this one step further, and this is just going to be a 3 on the bottom. So I'm going to get 100 divided by 3 equals a. And I ran a little short of room there. So let's go back and take care of our last part now. So now I know what y equals. I know my a value is now 100 over 3. Times e. And now for our last part on this one, we know it's going to be after 5 days. And again, how many flies? So the y we don't know, the t we do. So we're going to put 5 times b up on top. Alright, so we got that set up. Now the other part, we did find b down here. So it's getting to be a lot of information here, but let's go with it. So y is what we want to find. We've got 100 over 3 times e, all raised to 5 times natural log of 3 all over 2. So all of this is my exponent. Alright, so we're set. Right now, we're ready to just hit this up in the calculator. So we can do this, and again, I would highly recommend doing parentheses again, and we're going to raise it all to this power. Now if you want to make this part a little easier, because the numbers aren't too bad, but if you want to make it easier in the calculator, one thing you might do is this. Do 100 over 3 times e, and since 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, we'll just do 2.5 times natural log of 3 as our entire exponent. Alright, so we've got that. Hit the calculator up, and this should give us, if I did all my math right, approximately, and again obviously we're rounding at the very end here, but approximately 520 flies after 5 days. So a lot of work. So let's recap here real quick. We took our general form, y equals a times e raised to the bt, and then once that was set up, we plugged in our first amount of information that we knew. We had a time, or t, of 2, and a y value, or our ending value, of 100. So we substituted that in, tried to isolate a, we did, we got down to this point. Then that value took its place when we rewrote our exponential growth model, and we went to our second step where t was 4 and our y value was 300. So y became 300 and the time became 4. Simplify this all the way down until we got b by itself, and then we took that b and we went right back to where we just left and plugged it in there and simplified our whole value for a, which we got to be 100 over 3. Now we took that up as our last value of a right here, and then we substituted in 5 for the value of t and simplified. Very involved. Takes some time. A lot of places where you're going to have to be careful, but it's still pretty doable. So good luck with that one.